Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Math Meets Mastery with Nana. I'm so excited to kind of launch my channel with this first algebra problem. My intention is to do high school and middle school content, so whether it's lessons or answering questions, word problems, whatever it is. I will try my best to regularly upload content. And so yeah, I found this problem on a website called Math is Fun. There are a lot of lessons and problems on that website, so I recommend it to anyone. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. It's for algebra students, and yeah, I thought it would be great to kind of solve this here on Math Meets Mastery. Okay. This is a question that you can actually solve logically, but I'm going to use an equation to do it, just so we can learn how to set up equations and kind of solve these types of problems with equations. So the question says, I have some pencils in some jars. If I put 4 pencils into each jar, I will have 1 jar left over. If I put 3 pencils into each jar, I will have 1 pencil left over. How many pencils and how many jars? To get started, I'm going to let the number of jars be represented by J, just so that it's easy to refer to. So let number of jars equal J. Okay, awesome. Now, I can use J when I want to refer to number of jars instead of writing it all out. So if I take the first part of the problem, it says if I put 4 pencils into each jar, I will have 1 jar left over. So if I put, let's say I have a number of pencils and I put 4 pencils each into, let's say, 3 jars. How many pencils do I have? In that case, I have 4 times 3 pencils, right? Because there's 4 in each, so 4 plus 4 plus 4, and that's 12, right? If I had 7 jars and I put 4 in each, it would be 4 times 7 to give me 28 pencils. So I can basically express, express pencils in terms of jars. I can say my pencils, if I have 4 pencils and let's say 3 jars, then I have 4 times 3 pencils, but the 3 there represents the number of jars. That's what I mean when I say expressing it in terms of jars. Okay, in this question it says though, if I put 4 pencils into each jar, but I have 1 jar left over, meaning I didn't fill all the jars. I filled J, the number of jars, minus 1. I didn't fill all of them, right? So my number of jars that I filled was actually J minus 1. And the number of pencils is 4 in each of those J minus 1. So what we have is the number of pencils is equal to 4 times J minus 1. Okay, that's the first equation, right? Okay, and for our second one, it says if I put 3 pencils into each jar, I will have 1 pencil left over. So in this case, I filled all my jars, right? So if I filled all my jars, then I have 3 times J pencils, because we're putting 3 pencils into each jar. 3 times J pencils. But it says I have 1 pencil left over. So my total pencils would be 3 times J pencils plus an extra pencil. So that is written. I can write that as number of pencils, again, is also equal to 3 times J pencils plus 1 pencil. Now, these equations are equal. These equations are equal, right? It's the same number of pencils, it's just being expressed in a different way. So if they're equal, I can equate them by connecting them with an equal sign. So that's 4J minus 1. This is the same as 3J plus 1, right? Now I only have one variable. In this case, the variable is J. It's a variable because that's what we're finding. So I can open this up here. So 4 times J is 4J minus 4 times 1 is 4 is equal to 3J plus 1, right? And what I want is I want all the J's on one side, anything that has J in it on one side, and then everything else on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring 3J over here, so that gives me 4J minus 4 minus 3J right? Because it's positive here. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes negative, is equal to 1. And then I'm going to bring this 4 here to this side, negative 4 here. And so that's going to be 4j minus 3j is equal to 1 plus 4, because once 4 crosses over, it becomes positive. So this gives me j is equal to 5, because 1 plus 4 is 5. So I know the number of my jars is 5. Now, because these equations up here are equal, I can just plug 5 into either of them and still get the same number of pencils. So I'm going to take the second one because it just looks simpler. So 3j plus 1 is equal to the number of pencils, right? And then I know j is 5, so I have 3 times 5 plus 1 is equal to the number of pencils. I'm just going to put number of p. And then so that's 15 plus 1 is equal to number of p. And so I know 16 is the number of pencils, right? So I have 16 pencils in 5 jars. Let's put that back into the equation to see if we're correct. So it says if I put 4 pencils into each jar, I will have 1 jar left over. Well, I have 16 pencils, so if I put 4 into each jar, well, 16 is divisible by 4, right? Because 16 divided by 4 is 4, so I'll only need 4 jars. So I will have 1 jar left over. So yeah, that checks out. Okay, the next one. If I put 3 pencils into each jar, I will have 1 pencil left over. 5 jars, 3 pencils in each would give me 15 pencils. And I have 16 pencils. So 16 minus 15 is 1, have 1 pencil left over. Okay, so we checked and we got it correct. So yeah, this is the way to solve these kinds of problems. Feel free to leave comments here if you have a different way. There are different ways. You can use simultaneous equations and a few other ways to do it. But this is the way that I chose to do it. And if you want to share another way, you can feel free to do that in the comments. Yeah, if you like content like this, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload content like this. Until next time, I'll see you. Take care. Bye.